Hi, everyone, and welcome. We are live. This is the first session of our 2020 virtual conference. We'd like to thank you all for coming. We already have 96 people joining us this morning. It's exactly 9 a.m., so we'll wait for a few more people to join. We have people joining us through Facebook today and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for showing up today. We are going to be talking with Missy Gable, who is the statewide director of the UC Master Gardener program, and I am Lauren Snowden, the statewide training coordinator for the UC Master Gardener program. We have a very exciting week for you. We have 9 sessions, over 9 hours of online streaming this week, covering horticulture topics, volunteer activities, and fun stuff that the UC Master Gardener program is recognizing and doing. We are super excited. We're already up to about 113 viewers, so we'll get started in a few minutes. If you guys want to type in the comment section, we can see you there, and you can type and chat back to us. If you'd like to tell us where you're tuning in from, either where you are in your house, if you're sitting outside enjoying, what city you're in, what county, what state, feel free to share with us where you're at. I'm currently in my home office hanging out with my pumpkins, as you can see over my shoulder. I've also got my dog with me as one of my favorite coworkers lately because we're working from home. So this is going to be a fun day. Hopefully he will make his own appearance at some point. I think he may be taking his morning nap. He didn't get his coffee. I'm hoping that you all got your coffee. So get your coffee and join us. We'll be starting shortly. We got Shelly from Lincoln, California. Welcome, Shelly. You and I are almost neighbors. I'm in the Sutter Yuba area. Who else we have joining us today? We have Debbie who joined us. Welcome, Debbie. Oh, Katie Panarella joined us. Hi, Katie. Oh, we have Christy from Campbell, home office too. I like this. We're all working in the home office. Master Gardeners of Monterey and Santa Cruz County, welcome. We got some volunteers in the house. State Line, Nevada, top of the mountain, welcome. Oh, we got Ramona from West Sac doing 5th grade homework at the same time.
Good job.
You deserve a double reward for that. Congratulations. This is great. What other grade are people teaching? I know we got some kindergarten teachers out there. We have El Dorado Hills, California. Very nice. All right, we're up to about 143 on Facebook. Missy, I think I'm going to send it over to you. We got some more people coming in the comments. Keep it coming about where you're from. Let's see what's going on. And once again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to pass it over to our speaker, Missy Gable. It's all yours, Missy.
Great. Thank you so much, Lauren. Well, welcome, everyone. We're really excited that you're here today. I'm going to be talking about how, as a UC Master Gardener program, as volunteers and the people that we serve, we are growing together through all of this, everything that 2020 has brought to us. First and foremost, I want to reiterate Lauren's welcome. We're genuinely delighted that you're joining us in this virtual platform. I also want to say, and I think this is probably my most important job today, is to really give massive kudos to the statewide UC Master Gardener team, and most especially the woman who has worked to put this virtual conference together for everyone. Lauren Snowden is our statewide training coordinator, and we're just delighted that she has helped us to pivot and be flexible in a way that we're being flexible right now so that we can deliver this conference to you virtually. So welcome to all of you, and special thank you to Lauren Snowden today for all of her work to put this together. We do have both UC Master Gardener volunteers and the public joining us today. So we're really delighted to have a mix of people who are already part of our program, maybe some folks who are clients of our program, or people who are new. So I will do my best to cover some bases for you and share about who we are, what we've been doing, what we're going to be doing, and how you can engage with us. So the first thing I want you to know is that the UC Master Gardener program is part of the University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources. Agriculture and Natural Resources is a UC campus that does not have students. We have cooperative extension offices in every county in the state of California. We also have incredible spaces where innovative research is taking place in local communities. That's through our research and extension centers. And then where we spend all of our time, we have some amazing statewide institutes and programs. The UC Master Gardener program is one of those statewide programs. A little bit of history about us. So back in the late 1800s, there was a federal act that established a precedent for doing research and important, impactful work in local communities. This eventually, along with a couple of other federal acts, established those cooperative extension offices in every county in the state of California. In 1972, an innovative environmental horticulture advisor at Washington State University realized that there was just an incredible need and desire with the public to consume information about home gardening. And that the university, in that situation, it was Washington State, had an opportunity to share research-based knowledge and information on home gardening, but they needed a lot of help to do that. And so they envisioned a volunteer program. They called it the Master Gardener program. And that became a really popular model that we've used nationally now. In 1980, the program started in the state of California in Riverside and Sacramento counties, and of course is still going strong today. We are celebrating our 40th year of doing great, impactful, community-based work. Here's evidence of one of our superstar members of our UC Master Gardener community. Here's Pam Bone on the, on your left. She's working with someone and talking about gardening practices, and that's back in 1981. And here we have Pam Bone on the right. That was just the other year. Here she is continuing that important, impactful work, taking care to address gardening needs in her local community. Our mission is to extend research-based information on home horticulture, that's home gardening, pest management, and sustainable landscaping practices to the residents of California. We have an amazing spread across the state. That's thanks to our incredible volunteers and the staff people who work with them. We have programs in 52 counties. We have over 6,000 volunteers that it is genuinely a pleasure to work with on a daily basis. These volunteers and the staff who support them have really remarkable numbers in terms of the work that they are doing in your local community. Over 4,000 projects every year and approximately 145,000 events in the state of California, and that's every year. We do have about 1,200 garden locations where you can find UC Master Gardener volunteers. In those gardens, volunteers are answering questions and supplying information to the folks who frequent those spaces to help and empower them to be better home gardeners or community gardeners or school gardeners. All right, when we think about our program, we talk about our impact in 3 areas. We'll talk a little bit more about what UC Master Gardener volunteers do, but to provide some context, I wanted to let everyone know that we work in the areas of sustainable landscaping. So that could include how you reduce your water use in your home landscape. It could also be how you avoid planting invasive plants, how you identify those invasive plants and what you should do to remove them, or scouting for insects and generally using less pesticides in your home landscape. We also have impact in the area of food gardening. Again, this is an easy one. It's teaching people and empowering people to grow their own food and take some control of their food access and food security. Finally, we work in the area of community well-being. Establishing gardens has an incredible impact on communities' sense of space. It also has big impact on individuals' both physical and mental well-being. Some of our program impacts in the area of sustainable landscaping are incredible UC Master Gardener volunteers. This is data from last year. Attendees at our workshops, 73% of public attendees at our workshops started monitoring for insects, weeds, and diseases. You can see these amazing contributions that Master Gardener volunteers are making in their local communities. Members of the public are attending our events and then changing their gardening practices so that in California, we can be more conscientious about how to take care of our environment, whether that's in our home landscape, at a community garden, or at a school garden. In the area of edible gardening, our volunteers are inspiring people to change their practices by growing more edible plants. People are growing more, they're trying different varieties, and they're also reducing their food loss from their home garden. If you want to read more about the impacts of the UC Master Gardener program, you can check out our annual report. It's available online, and we'll work to drop that link in the comments. So what I want to do now, who's doing all this amazing work? Well, again, we have over 6,000 volunteers in the state of California. We have volunteers who have been a part of this program from 1 to 40 years. We have folks who have contributed incredibly in terms of impacts, the impactful programming that they are giving their time to. And then we also have folks who have given a tremendous number of hours. It's our tradition at our conference, our statewide conference, to honor those people who have given more than 5,000 hours of service to this program. And I'd like to take a moment to do that right now. So over 15,000 hours, we have Michael K. from Santa Clara County. Over 10,000 hours, Rose P. from Fresno County. Thank you both for your amazing contribution to this program. We appreciate you and the impacts that you're making. Over 7,500 hours, we have Bev B., Calaveras County, Ann P., Riverside County, Elizabeth W., Sacramento County, Gail C., Fresno County, Betty L., Santa Clara County, Candace S., Santa Clara County, Lita B., San Diego County, Gail P., Sacramento County. Congratulations, everyone. And our 5,000-hour honorees. Again, it's our tradition to call these people out. So I'm going to read all of their names, and if you could please help me celebrate them. I know that we're not in a physical space together, but in this virtual environment, to the best of our ability, we want to make sure to recognize these incredible folks and their contributions. We have Cheryl T., El Dorado County, Frankie N., Santa Clara County, Thurman H., Riverside County, Alan B., Santa Clara County, Mindy C., Sacramento County, Gail P., Marin County, Isabel B., Orange County, Rita E., Fresno County, Phyllis T., Sonoma County, Catherine R., Marin County, Gretchen Z., Santa Clara County, Kathy C., Amador County, Emma C., Contra Costa County, Alice S., Santa Clara County, Laura C., Sacramento County, Deb T., El Dorado County, Otia B., Riverside County, Sue M., Placer County, Judy C., San Diego County, Mary C., El Dorado County, Mary C., Santa Clara County, Judy A., Ventura County, and Bonnie B., Nevada County. Thank you all for your immense contributions to this program. 5,000 hours is an incredible accomplishment, as is 7,500, 10,000, and 15,000. We're humbled by the contributions that you're making to this program and the way that you are supporting the program mission. Thank you all so much. And to all of our volunteers, regardless of the number of hours that you've contributed, regardless of the number of years of service, we are just tremendously grateful that you continue to give your time to this program. I really feel that the work that we're doing now is more important than ever. And we're going to talk about that in a couple of slides. But I really want to make sure that you know that we appreciate you and everything that you do to support our work and our mission. So who are these incredible UC Master Gardener volunteers? So UC Master Gardener volunteers come from all walks of life. We don't require a background in gardening. We do look for people who have an interest in teaching, in learning, and in giving back to their local communities. Master Gardener volunteers come in a range of ages. We have people who work, we have folks who are retired. Everyone is welcome to apply to our program. For members of the public who might be interested, when you apply to and are selected to be a part of the UC Master Gardener training program, You go through a substantial training. So all of the volunteers who are watching us today have invested a significant amount of time in working with and learning from UC academics and staff to develop their research-based knowledge in gardening and home horticulture practices. Our volunteers give back, as you can already see, a tremendous number of hours, and we just continue to be in awe of that. In their first year as a Master Gardener volunteer, volunteers give back 50 volunteer hours. And in their second and subsequent years, it's 25 hours of volunteer time and then 12 hours of continuing education. Master Gardener volunteers are lifelong learners, and we work to put out content that they can consume to grow in their own gardening knowledge and practices, and then give back and share with the public. So what do UC Master Gardener volunteers do? The vast majority of UC Master Gardener volunteer time is spent doing public education and outreach. We also have a significant amount of time that goes into work in demonstration, community, and school gardens. Now, what type of work? Master Gardener volunteers are dedicated to education. So in demonstration spaces like community gardens and school gardens, they are sharing best practices in gardening, whether that's demonstrating irrigation practices, demonstrating insect scouting and monitoring, or how to successfully grow fruits, vegetables, fruit trees, and ornamental plants. UC Master Gardener volunteers give an amazing amount of time. We've seen that a couple times already here. They're engaging a huge number of Californians. I mentioned before that you'll find Master Gardeners primarily doing public education and outreach. Where can you find Master Gardeners in your community? I encourage you to check out radio shows, community gardens, farmers market booths, newspaper articles, demo gardens, and more. The majority of UC Master Gardener programs, county-based programs, have a helpline that members of the community can call or email into to have their gardening questions answered. How do you access your local program? Visit us online at mg.ucanr.edu. Again, we're a statewide program with local county-based delivery. So once you get to the website, you're going to navigate to your county program by selecting your county, and we will redirect you to their website. At the county level, programs are doing really creative work right now in light of our current circumstances to continue to deliver programs. So I'll look at where we are today. Some of you might not believe me, but 2020 really has brought us some good things. What are those good things? So a piece of good news that has come out of 2020 is that there is an amazing national food gardening movement, unlike anything that we have seen in recent history. This is really fueled by food supply anxiety. It's a little bit different than victory garden movements of the past because the gardening that we're seeing done right now is primarily in the home garden. We're seeing vegetable seed shortages. I'm not sure if anyone experienced that this spring. Also, transplants are selling out tremendously faster. Where this past spring, Master Gardener volunteers in some cases, were able to assist with the supply chain issue by donating plants that were distributed through school lunch programs and other programs to get them in the hands of individuals who want to take more control of their food supply and try their hand at gardening. So this is a really exciting piece of the 2020 puzzle. I'm thrilled to see this national food gardening movement happening, and I think the role for the UC Master Gardener program is really significant to help support folks so that they can be successful. What we want is to empower new gardeners to be successful in their home landscape so that they can continue to grow their own fruits and vegetables. Another piece of good news is that very early reports, we don't have research-based data on this yet, but early reports suggest that all of the virtual engagement that we're doing right now is drawing a new clientele to the UC Master Gardener program. I hope some of you listening today do represent some of those new clientele. If you do, give us a wave in the comments. Let us know how you would like to engage with the UC Master Gardener program in the future. So we're seeing a change in our audience. We've seen a lot of new faces coming into our virtual space. We're also seeing more diversity in terms of the audience, the diversity that the audience represents. Social media marketing is drawing more folks age 18 to 49. So we're seeing also our audience shift a little bit in terms of demographic. So we're seeing more folks in that age bracket engage with us. And our UC Master Gardener coordinators are reporting a fantastic increase in virtual event participation. We're also seeing an increase, 45% increase, in fact, in the number of submissions to our Become a UC Master Gardener survey. So that's a 45% increase over last year from folks who are interested in learning more about how to become a UC Master Gardener volunteer through one of our training classes. Another really important piece of good news from 2020 is that this national spotlight on racial injustice has really helped us to look at and critically examine how we can do a better job as an organization. We want to retain the volunteers that we have now, continue to pull those people in, but we also want to figure out how to open our doors wider so that we are a welcoming organization and that our volunteers and the clientele that we serve represent the incredible, rich, diverse demographic that is the state of California. Some of the things Master Gardener volunteers have done to pivot in 2020. Now, this is not necessarily a really standard practice within our program, but it's been something that I think has been very rich and rewarding that has come out of 2020. Master Gardener programs, county-based programs, some have been able to do things like head into community gardens, head into their demonstration gardens to harvest produce and donate to local community food banks. This has been a wonderful service to local communities and a way to get fresh fruit, fresh produce into the hands of individuals who need it. Master Gardener volunteers have also moved to deliver their public outreach and education classes online. I hope that you're following us on social media, on a website if for your local county program, so that you can monitor and attend those events that are happening in your local area or anywhere in the state. That's the interesting thing about our virtual environment, is that we're able to pull in an audience from other parts of California. You know, here we have a Master Gardener volunteers located in San Diego County, but his audience could certainly be individuals far outside of San Diego County and other parts of California or even other states. So a lot of really incredible education is continuing to happen through the work of innovative UC Master Gardener volunteers, and that's being done in a virtual environment. We also have volunteers who are recording themselves more. Kudos to those folks who are game to get on camera. They're heading into their own gardens. They're heading into their own gardens. They're heading into community gardens where they can safely interact with those spaces and film the work that they're doing so that they can then share that knowledge, those how-to videos, with members of the public. And they're doing that in a variety of ways through social media, on YouTube, and more. All right, we also have programs that are going live, just like today. But we've been seeing some really exciting stuff happening. Recently, Marcy Souza in San Joaquin County, she's coordinator there, hosted a great live event on tomato troubles. We've got herb gardening coming out of Stanislaus County. There's just some amazing work taking place. So there are a lot of different ways you can engage. You can engage live through one of these events on social media. You can also engage by watching one of the how-to videos or attending either live or a recorded public workshop. Right, and finally, UC Master Gardener programs. I had mentioned before, we have 1,200 gardens where UC Master Gardener volunteers are active. Now, because of COVID, not all of these demonstration gardens are open right now, but some of them are open to the public with guidelines for how you can interact safely in that space. These spaces are open for people, well, in the case where these places are open, members of the public can go in and learn about best practices in growing fruits and vegetables. Some of these gardens also have educational signage. Again, you're going to need to do a little bit of investigating to know what the COVID restrictions are in your area and whether or not these demonstration spaces are open. But it is so important right now that we find ways, whether it's in our home landscape or in a community demonstration or demonstration garden, to really get outside. Interacting with nature has incredible benefits for our mental health and can help promote feelings of happiness, of fulfillment in a time when we're struggling to get together in person, obviously, and otherwise really needing to figure out how to lift our spirits. And so I encourage people, if you have an open garden, to safely participate in that garden by being able to view the plants and the demonstrations there. Again, check with your local program to find out whether or not there are demonstration gardens that are open. So looking to the future, when we are ready to re-engage in person, the UC Master Gardener volunteers and the program are going to be there. We have such amazing in-person work that's happening. I wish I had time to showcase projects from every county around the state because it truly is inspiring the way in which Master Gardener volunteers interact with the public and supply them with useful information that they can then take and apply and change their behavior for the betterment of themselves, for their community, and for the state of California. For those volunteers who are on the call, also any staff or academics from the University of California, I wanted to share some of our priority areas. What's important to us in this current 2021 program year, we want to advocate heavily for what the program does in our local communities. We have amazing impacts, we have statistics to share, and we want to help folks advocate both at the county level and also at the state and national level. We're singing the praises of the UC Master Gardener program, we're singing the praises of the volunteers and the impactful projects that they are doing. We're also focusing on training. 2020, while virtual training has been on our to-do list for quite a long time, it certainly changed our priorities. COVID has changed our priorities. So we want to help the program to move so that we can be flexible in the future, whether that's with a virtual training program or a hybrid model training program. So our focus moving forward is going to be developing and releasing virtual training for the UC Master Gardener program. We also want to continue to focus on program excellence. How are we focusing on program excellence right now? We are working to ensure that volunteers and programs have access to the appropriate software, specifically software right now, that they need to continue to deliver on the program mission. So we're working closely with IT and with senior leadership at the University of California Ag and Natural Resources to make this happen. I look forward to sharing more information in the future. We also have a significant priority area around diversity. Diversity, equity, and inclusion has been a priority area for our program for many years, for as many years as I have been a part of the program. What we're doing right now is working to make sure that we are, as I had mentioned before, opening our doors wider. We're examining all of our practices from how we select volunteers to get into our program to where we are delivering that public outreach in our local communities. And we are going to be applying best practices statewide to make sure that we have a massive table, we have all the people at the table that reflect the great diversity of the state of California. And then finally, we are working to give recognition within our program. I truly believe we have some of the most exemplary staff, volunteers, and academics in our UC Master Gardener volunteer community. So we're working very hard to give recognition to those folks. Lauren is going to share in a couple of slides some of the great ways that we are celebrating UC Master Gardener volunteers and ways that you can help us to celebrate UC Master Gardener volunteers by checking out some of the tools that she's put out, or some communication tools that she's put out. All right, it's my pleasure now to turn it over to Lauren Snowden. Lauren is the statewide training coordinator for the UC Master Gardener program. It's truly a pleasure to work with her and her positivity. She is the woman responsible for helping us move our triennial conference into a virtual environment, and we're really grateful to have her sharing some more information with you now. Turning over to you, Lauren.
Great. Thank you, Missy. Thank you so much, for pulling out the positive of 2020. I've been having a hard time finding that on a daily basis. So thank you for summing up some good stuff for me. So that's a great. We have some people in the comments that just got home from being evacuated from fire. We have people joining us from hospital beds. Like, you guys, 2020, it's a whole thing, right? But guess what? You made it to the virtual UC Master Gardener mini conference. So that's a huge plus and positive there. If we were meeting in person, we would be in Tahoe right now, and I'm pretty sure the weather's darn near perfect. So pretend you're in Tahoe. Think you're smelling beautiful trees. It's, very nice up there in the Tahoe area. So thank you for joining us. One of the great things about going virtual this year for our conference is it's open to everyone and it's free. We are having 9 sessions throughout the week, 3 today, 3 on Wednesday, and 3 on Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for the rest of the conference in the chat area, so you guys, in the comment area, so you guys can see it, save it for later, bookmark it. It's going to be great. So Missy started off kicking us off today at noon today. We are going to go into something called Gardeners with Heart. I think it's pretty amazing. And then we're going to end today with houseplants, which, you guys, houseplants are a thing. People are buying them because we're at home working in our offices. I'm keeping pumpkins as company. Other people, like, I don't know if you, like Missy, I think has like 5 houseplants near her desk. So we've got this whole thing going of where we're trying to help people be better gardeners at home, and we're starting off with houseplants. So hopefully you can join us from 3 to 4 today. We're having Ernesto Sandoval as our speaker. He is from the UC Davis Botanical Arboretum Gardens.
Botanical Conservatory.
Thank you, Botanical Conservatory. And let me tell you, I've heard him speak at least twice, and I learn something new every time. So come and learn with us. If you can't come learn with us live because you're teaching 5th grade, I saw someone in the chat teaching 5th grade, don't worry, all this is recorded. It will be posted online. Other super awesome news, if you are a UC Master Gardener, guess what? This counts as continuing education, but it only counts if you put it into the volunteer management system. So attend afterwards, go log into your portal, into your volunteer management system, and type in your hours, type what session you attended and how long it was. Perfect. Great. Online education, you get to see some of your friends online. This is amazing. Day 2, you're going to start your day off super early at 9 a.m. and we're going to talk about soil. We don't say dirt, right? We say soil because we love soil. So we're going to talk about composting for soil health with Kevin Marini. 12 to 1, we are going to do a Search for Excellence winner panel and learn about the Reminiscence Gardening Project from San Diego County. We're super excited to have them on. 3 to 4 that day. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Search for Excellence second place with Contra Costa County, Gardening for Underserved Communities. So these are going to be your fellow volunteers talking about projects that won, and we will get to that on the next slide. But Thursday, October 1st, we're going to talk about fire-safe landscaping to kick things off. We're going to be talking with Valerie Burrell, who is in Southern California, so it's going to have a Southern California focus, but fire-safe landscaping. I mean, we're all going through something right now, and a lot of us are doing fire. 12 to 1. This is very exciting for me because I truly have so many peppers hanging out waiting to be preserved. I got to get on it, you guys. 12 to 1 on Thursday, we're having Preserving Your Garden Harvest with Sue Mosbacher from the Master Food Preserver Program. We're very happy to be partnering with them. And then 3 to 4, we have our third place winners of the Search for Excellence mornings at Marshall Cottle Park. I hope you can join us. But like I said, if you can't, no worries, recorded, and you can watch it later. But be sure, UC Master Gardeners, count those hours, type them in, get in VMS. We love it. Missy, next slide, please. So I want to say congratulations. Congratulations to the winners of the UC Master Gardener Search for Excellence. For those of us who don't know what I'm talking about, because, you know, people use acronyms, we call it the SFE, but the Search for Excellence competition is an opportunity to celebrate and showcase the tremendous talents of the UC Master Gardener volunteers from across the state. So we send out a call for submissions of certain projects in certain categories, and counties can submit and be judged by a panel. So we got this, we do this every 3 years. It usually corresponds with our conference. We have a panel of judges that reviewed 14 submissions this year. And all these were about our mission-focused educational projects that are innovative and were performed over the last 3 years. I'm very happy to say that we've released all of the information on our winners and posted blog posts about each individual winner. So if you want to read more about what those projects were that won, you can do that. The link is on the screen, and I believe we just dropped it in the comment section for you, so you can pick it up there. But if you're more into visuals, guess what? We're having 3 sessions and 1 each for our first, second, and third place winners. So you can join us there and learn all about these great projects that are happening across the state. Missy, next slide, please. So I'm very happy to say that we recognize volunteers for years of service. We recognize volunteers for the hours they put in. And I mean, not everyone can donate 10,500 hours. Like, I mean, that's a lot. Congratulations. I don't know if I have that many hours in me some days, but guess what we do? We also recognize people for just the work that they're doing, because guess what? It's incredible. They're doing it. They're out there. So we started this year something called the Gardeners with Heart, and it was a nomination from our counties of certain volunteers that they thought exemplified the Master Gardener program, supported the mission, and were doing incredible work. This could be work like in the background. This could be someone that just runs social media channels and helps out and promotes events. This could be someone that does the newsletter, writes for the newspaper. This could be people working directly with the public in person, working in demo gardens, doing online videos. So it's really runs the gamut of what your volunteer experience can be like with the UC Master Gardener program. We had a great blog series that featured some of these people already, and we just wanted to take this opportunity to celebrate a few more people by releasing the name of nominees. Today at noon, we're going to release that list of nominees. We're also going to meet some of the people that were nominated and have a little discussion panel. So you're going to hear firsthand experience of why they volunteer and what they find great about volunteering for the UC Master Gardener program. It's really fun to talk to different volunteers and find out how you found out about the program or why you joined. It's always a different story. Sometimes it's my neighbor. Sometimes it's like, I wanted to become a better gardener. And then other people, it's like, I was a teacher and I just wanted to keep teaching, and gardening's great. So it's truly all over the place. I know I wanted to just be a better gardener, and I became a Master Gardener volunteer. So, I mean, I feel like I'm a better gardener. I don't kill as many bugs anymore, I'll tell you that. Integrated pest management will change your life if you learn more about it. So I hope you can join us today at noon. And Missy, next slide, if you will. All right, so we already dropped in the chat how to find your local UC Master Gardener program, and Missy talked about all the stuff that's already going on, but I wanted to remind you, if you want to get engaged, if you want to find your local group, and I do suggest you find your local group, because, I mean, I live up in Sutter, Yuba. You live down in Monterey, completely different plant palette, completely different issues going on depending on the time of year. So I do suggest you connect with your local program so that you can get your specific information for your local area and get it connected with someone who knows what's going on in your area. I don't know what's going on in your area. I know what's going on in mine. So I suggest you find your program by, I think we dropped it in the chat, doing the Find Us link. There are programs right now doing online events, kind of like we are right now. You can find that on a lot of Facebook pages. You can find that on their web pages. And if you want to Google You can Google UC Master Gardeners and then put in the county name that you're looking for if you're more of a Googler, and you can find your local county. There's programs that are doing radio shows. I believe Orange County is doing a radio show. LA County is kind of doing like a live broadcast thing of gardening from home, which is great. There's people doing live streams, which, by the way, a lot of pressure on a live stream for everything to work. So happy to say Wi-Fi is working and there's not a power outage. So lots of positives right there. There's how-to videos coming out, and there's question and answer hotlines that are still going on. There's people that are doing phone calls from their home. There's people answering questions online via email. There's a whole network of people that really switched up what they were doing from answering questions in person to answering online. I do suggest this. If you are going to do a Q&A, we really love clear pictures. We love a lot of information so we can help answer your questions. And like, we're going to ask weird questions like, how much water has this plant been getting? How much sun? So just be prepared. We'll ask you weird questions because that's what we do. We love gardening and we want to know all about your plants. So hopefully you can connect with us in your local county and become part of your local community gardeners. Missy, next slide, please. So connecting with us on a statewide level, here is our UC Master Gardener website. From there, we do list events in counties, so you can kind of like find your way. You can also find other gardening information on there and more about the Master Gardener program in general. We're very, very happy to have people just love our program and want to be a part of it. There are counties that are continuing with training online for new UC Master Gardener volunteers to come in. That's very exciting. Missy had said that things are changing almost daily with regulations and what we're allowed to do or not to do. So really connect with your local program to find out if they're having training for you and what online events you can attend or in-person events you can attend in the future where you can connect and learn more about gardening. Missy, next slide. For those of us who love the social media life or are online, you can definitely connect and hook up with so much social media stuff, but you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. Lots of local groups have lots of social media channels and are happy to connect with you through there. I know that I answer questions a couple times a day or forward people onto their local group through social media. We're very happy to have an interactive group of all of this community that is supportive and into gardening. It's truly really great to have so many people now looking towards being gardeners, putting in gardens. And this is one thing that I will say, if you have a potted plant in your house, you're a gardener. If you have a pot on your balcony, you're a gardener. If you own a plant, I believe you're a gardener. If you have the tiny little walkway outside your apartment and you plant a tomato, you're a gardener. You do not have to have some giant plot of land. You don't have to own any land. And you don't have to have your own gardener or landscape. There's people that have plots at community gardens that just help out with other land that they have access to. It's truly, gardening is for everyone regardless. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. And I would really love it if you joined us for the rest of the conference. We have 8 more sessions. Our next one's at noon. Missy, do you have anything you would like to add?
I'd just like to say a really big thank you. We are, again, delighted to have you with us, joining us virtually for this conference. It's really great to make connections, regardless of how we're doing it right now. It's just really delightful to connect you with the UC Master Gardener program and with the incredible work of our amazing volunteers. If you're a UC Master Gardener volunteer who has joined us this morning, thank you for being here. We look forward to being with you for the next 3 days and providing some great speakers, fun and engaging sessions. It really is a pleasure. It's our distinct pleasure and honor to work with each and every one of you. And we hope that the next couple of days can be a fun way that we can just reinvest ourselves in some gardening knowledge. We can celebrate our fellow volunteers, our gardeners with heart, and our Search for Excellence winners. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. So we'll see you online at noon. All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care.